5 minutes after I left, he FaceTimed me, which never happens, but I was driving and I just knew something was wrong.
Hey everyone, we have a birthday interview. Every birthday or around that time, we interview our kids when it's their birthday and if they want to be on the podcast. Every now and then also we have specials where we get all 3 kids in on the podcast. But today we have Jackson Roloff. How old are you?
8.
8. You already had your birthday, right?
Right.
So we're actually kind of late. For the record, this is the first time ever that me and Tori, his mom and dad, have semi-forgotten something about Jackson, okay? I know, he's our first child. We never forget anything with him. He's always number one. But we did semi-forget. This should have probably been in last week's episode or 2 weeks ago, whatever. Anyway, all good. We're here. Jackson's excited to be here. It's just Dad and Jackson today, right?
Right.
Where's Mom?
She's not in here right now.
She's off camera. Mom's off camera. Yeah, but that's okay. Jackson, you're 8. You turned 8. You're finishing. What grade are you finishing?
2nd grade.
2nd grade in just a couple weeks, right?
Right.
Excited for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah.
What are you into these days?
Fishing.
What do you like to do, or what do you think about? Fishing?
Fishing, baseball.
What's your favorite channel lately to watch on the YouTube?
Dude Perfect and Outdoor Boys.
Yeah, very cool. Dude Perfect is actually pretty fun. At first, Mom and Dad were like, what is this? But they just do a bunch of trick shots, right?
Yeah, and they have the highest basketball trick shot.
Really?
It's from the tallest tower in Las Vegas.
That's pretty cool. And they dropped the basketball?
Yeah. Then
Who ended up getting it?
Tyler.
And you know all the characters too, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Corey.
Corey's your favorite?
Corey Cotton.
Corey's your favorite?
Yeah.
All right, so that's your favorite. And then you like Outdoor Boys too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Addicting.
What'd you say to me? You wanted to do your own channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of work though. Hey, I'm interviewing. You're off camera.
Go fishing and hunting.
Experiments.
Yeah.
You sometimes watch some cool stuff with like animals too, though.
Yeah.
You learn a lot.
Yeah. And I want to get an ant colony.
Ant colony?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I don't know. We could just find ant colonies here on the property. We don't have to buy one. Right?
Right.
We got that ant colony at our septic. We can just go dig that up and study it if you want.
But I want to have like a container.
Oh, you want ants in the house? A container of ants in the house?
Yeah, like that. It's like a skinny thing. Then there's sand, and then they
okay. Probably won't be happening, but we'll think about it. Okay. We do. Mom and Dad love how you have such an interest in a bunch of different things, though.
Yeah.
Outdoor things, indoor things, sports. Art. You like the drawing, right? Still.
Yeah.
And you did awesome at your concert this year.
Yeah.
You knew all the emotions.
Kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and
Oh boy. You have a birthday party coming up.
Yeah.
Pretty excited. What are you doing?
Going to Battleground Lake.
And gonna do what?
Go fishing.
Fishing. We got a couple friends coming.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna catch anything?
No.
No. Why? Last time we were there, we caught something. You caught something.
No, because we were on a kayak.
Oh yeah, we're gonna just do bank fishing.
Yeah. Well, we'll at least catch one bluegill.
Dude, I think we should bring our biggest fishing pole we have, put some 5-pound weight on that line, and whip it out to the middle of the lake.
How about we just get beef jerky instead?
Why?
If you drop a piece by the dock, every single bluegill.
Oh, you're serious? Okay,
Yeah.
That's like a real bait?
Yeah, beef jerky.
Beef jerky?
Yeah, like if you cast it out You would literally.
I don't know if that's legal to bait things with food.
Why?
I have to look that up, especially in Washington State. I don't know if you're allowed to do scent with fishing, but let me look it up and we'll see.
Power bait has scent.
You're right. We are allowed to do power bait. I just know there's some rules with different fish. Maybe it doesn't apply to lake fishing though. We'll see. Anyway, I know a steelhead. That's what it is. Maybe with steelhead, you're not allowed to use scents or river fishing.
My favorite fish is steelhead.
Dude, this next winter. I know. He's looking at the microphone, the little up and down thing on our screen here. Jackson, next winter, we got to go. We got to do some river fishing and get a steelhead.
Yeah.
Like, we got to go, but we're going to suffer, dude. We got to go all out in the rain. We got to go every weekend.
Yay!
I hear it's the hardest fish to catch.
No, salmon is.
No, we went there. We caught one in 5 seconds. Steelhead fishing, I've heard, is the most elusive of all the fish.
No, salmon's river.
We went out there, we caught one in 20 seconds.
No, but in not that river.
Got it. Hey, how's baseball going?
Good.
You still like baseball? You struck out last night. I know. What happened there?
2 times.
Yeah, what happened there? Coach Bonk doing the head too, didn't he?
Yeah, and they didn't call it a walk.
Oh my gosh. I think we only do that if it's a player. What was your peak?
My peak was going to Louisville Park.
Oh yeah.
For my Habitat Week.
For school?
Yeah.
Who was your counselor?
Mom. Paige. And Violet's mom.
Okay. What do your friends call mom? Do they call her Mrs. Roloff? Or Jackson's mom? Or Tori? Like if one of them wanted to talk to her, what do they say? Miss. They just straight up say Tori? The disrespect. All the girls call you Mrs. Roloff. All the boys are like, Tori.
Tori.
All right. And do you have a pit?
No.
No, that's good. No pits?
Yeah.
Jackson really, really, really badly wanted to do this. And we're excited to have him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're past bedtime right now. When are you going to be back on the pod? Come back soon? After DAAA, probably?
Why?
We're going to go on a break pretty soon here. Do we have those dates? We're going to go on a break here pretty soon, but we'll probably come back. We're going to go on a break for the summer, but then our comeback episode will probably be all the kids in August, if they want to, but all the kids, and they're going to show off their DAAA medals. So soon, not yet. We're back next week and the next week, but we are going to go on a break pretty soon. But that's when we'll get all the kids back. Is after that break. That'll be our comeback episode. So, all right, everyone, thanks. Jackson, thanks for being here. Let's say do your best, forget the rest together, though. Ready? Do your best,
forget the rest.
All right, hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Raising Heights with Zach and Tori. I'm Zach.
I think I'm Tori.
This is
I
Tori.
must be Tori.
This is the wife.
The wifey.
And the mother.
What's up, guys? Welcome if this is your first time, or thanks for coming back. You guys have been so supportive. I have gotten so many comments and DMs. Are your allergies just raging right now?
They're starting up.
You
for
look
some
like
reason.
you're crying right now.
Yeah, they're starting up.
You're crying because I just look so beautiful right now, right?
Yeah,
and you're
that's
so
why.
happy to be here.
Yeah, so happy.
Anyway, I get so many DMs all day long about people that are die-hard listeners, and we just appreciate you guys so much. So welcome, hello, welcome back, all the things.
Yeah.
Zach will try not to cry.
Yeah.
This episode.
Just allergies for some, not allergies.
No, it's
something.
your mom came up for a baseball game.
Yeah.
What was that? Monday?
Yeah.
Sunday, whenever that was.
Monday.
And Saturday. It was actually,
Saturday.
Gosh, this week has just flown by. But anyway, she came up for a baseball game. And by the end of the baseball game, the poor thing couldn't even keep her eyes open. She was so miserable with allergies.
Yeah, my eyes were a little bothered too.
Yeah,
it's just random too when it kicks off. Why is it kicking off right now?
We've had a lot of rain here in the Northwest. And so I think that It's probably just blooming something out there.
Yeah, it's blooming something.
Blooming. Yeah, crazy, crazy.
Peak and pit.
We have so many peaks and also so many pits since we last chatted.
We might make this episode just about one big peak pit.
Honestly, though. We feel like we got to catch up because we have had a lot happen in the last... It's been a week. There's been a lot that's happened. What was your peak?
My peak? Oh, like lots of things. That's the thing. Like, my birthday. It was a good birthday.
That's good.
Just chill. Tori didn't invite any random people over.
They're not random. Zach, I want to be with my friends on my birthday, and Zach's like, no friends, no anyone.
Tori didn't sign me up for any social events.
Yeah.
So we had Jackson's baseball game, though, on my birthday.
And Jackson was gone for the morning of your birthday.
Yeah, that was kind of sad, though.
That was kind of sad.
I'm not sure if I like that
No,
part.
that's not a peak. Sorry, whoa, that's not a peak. That was just kind of weird, not having him there that morning.
Yeah, he spent the night at Mimi's for his birthday. And went to a baseball game, the Hillsborough Hops game, which he really liked. And he got one-on-one time with Mimi without, the other siblings or cousins. So he really enjoyed that.
So good.
Which I'm excited that he was enjoying that, even though it was my birthday.
Yeah. But he specifically was like, can you not open your presents until I get home? That was his one request. He was like, don't open your gifts until I get there.
Then he came home and then we went to his baseball game. Mm-hmm. And he got to pitch.
Your dad came, your mom came.
Yeah, dad, mom. Nice. And he was able to pitch, which was really cool.
No, so he had... Were you there that game?
Not there the game that he
We've kind of switched on and off because our younger kids just don't do a great job of sitting at a 2-hour baseball game.
It's a lot of baseball. It's a lot of baseball. And
there's not a lot going on.
Yeah.
So
we feel for them too.
Yeah, 100%. So we switch off every once in a while. And Zachary didn't come to the last game that he pitched at.
Yeah.
And poor Jackson, he hit 2 players.
Yeah.
Which... When you, at his age, I don't know if this isn't all of baseball, but at his age, when you hit 2 players, you get pulled.
He got pulled from the mound.
And he was so disappointed. And so he's been working so hard since that happened. And I commend him. I'm so proud of him because we didn't want him to get discouraged. We're like, just keep working at it. It's fine. You have a bad game every once in a while. And he didn't. He worked at it. He
has a confidence though too. He's I ask him how the game went, and he'll say, "I threw a strike."
Yeah.
Well, didn't you hit 2 people?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. But I threw a strike.
I don't know that when he came off the mountain, he was pretty disappointed. I think
in the moment, but he still has a lot of confidence in his ability. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. He has a lot of confidence, and he's like, "I'm still a good player."
Yeah. So he pitched. He only hit one player.
Yeah, that was the first time he pitched since then.
And he did great.
Yeah, he did great.
It was a hard team.
Yeah, it was a great team. Yeah, it was probably one of the better teams we've played all season.
100%.
It's tough though because you watch he's the first pitcher. And I'm like, oh gosh, some of his pitches. I'm like, what in the world at this age? But then you watch. This is not a diss on anyone else, but you watch 4 or 5 other kids on both teams pitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, he's right there in the mix.
Oh, I think he's one of the better pitchers. I know he's my kid, so
he could definitely
he can throw some strikes.
He has some power.
Yeah.
It's his accuracy that needs to get better, but he consistently throws it. Ball's not hitting the ground before it reaches the plate,
It gets to the catcher.
Yeah, or in that area.
Yeah. Which at this age also, the catcher by the end of it, because that poor catcher has to run after they don't know how to catch the ball.
Yeah.
So they're exhausted at the end of it.
Yeah.
Even holding up their mitt, they can barely hold the mitt there for the pitcher.
Can I say a public service announcement?
Please.
So, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent. Okay, baseball, youth baseball. After observing youth baseball the last 2 seasons, okay, at this age level, and I've done a ton of soccer coaching courses, classes, reading about what the best way to play soccer with kids, coach soccer for kids, all the things. Baseball at this level should not be 9v9. There's 13 kids on his team.
Yeah.
Only 10 are allowed on defense, so on the field or whatever. There's games. We're out there for 2 hours. Some of the kids are only batting 1 time. You know what I'm saying? 1 time for 2 hours.
Time.
An hour and a half game. The games are an hour and a half at 2nd grade. that for me, we have some first graders on the team. An hour and a half game is crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Baseball at this age, you can still do, and even the player pitch, I'm not clear on that yet, but these games should be an hour and a half tops. It should be like 7v7.
Yeah.
Catcher, pitcher,
First, second, third,
2 outfielders, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
or
saying?
not even out. They
No
cannot
shortstop.
hit. No one ever hits it to the outfield. No one ever hits it out there.
So maybe a shortstop that's just a little in the
Yeah.
field, and then someone between first and second, just a little bit in the ground. There should only be 7 people out there. You know what I'm saying? If you have a 9-person roster, and if you have to throw an 8th person out there, fine.
Yeah.
It should be a 9 tops person roster. You get more at bats. So keep the hour and a half game, but at this level, and they're all asking why youth baseball doesn't do as well as soccer. You know what I'm saying? And for me, what I've observed, that's why. The consistent, and then we have 14, 15 games this season.
Yeah, that in itself is just malarkey.
And he's only batting 1 or 2 times, which is fine.
He touches the ball once every 45 minutes.
Like all the kids. So Tori missed a game for her birthday, and I'm literally like, that's fine. You'll miss him 1 at bat, maybe.
And 1 touching the ball.
He's not pitching that game.
Yeah.
And 16 ball recoveries. AKA when the catcher throws the ball back to the pitcher misses the ball.
Yeah.
And then all the kids run and grab it and give it to, you know what I'm saying? You'll miss 16 of those, which is all fine. Jackson loves baseball.
Also, like, to your point too, our kid is, and I say this humbly, I know I'm his mom, so I'm biased, but I really think Jackson's one of the more focused players on the team. He's one of the more into it on the team. And even he gets bored by the end of it because he doesn't touch it. And he's focused. Half the time, not more than half the time, he's out there paying attention to the pitches, paying attention to where the ball is. And even towards the end, he is like, all right, round it up.
And at this level of baseball, there's no stealing. Okay,
Yeah.
And you can only
get one. You only get one base
unless the miracle happens and you hit it beyond the baseline or whatever.
But see, even with that rule, you're right. It's still you should only be playing infield then at that point. No one hits it to the outfield and you only get 2 bases if you hit it out there anyway. Yeah. So you're right. Why don't we just play 7v7?
And there's just a scrum of kids, and then 5 of the kids chase after the ball, and then there's no one at the plate anyway.
Yeah.
Because
they're
5
all
of them
after the ball.
ran after it because they're so bored, and finally some.
Yeah.
So my point is
also because they have such a big team, you have less teams because they can't fill the roster. So you have first graders playing with third graders, which I think is completely inappropriate. A first grader's skill level is not the same as a third grader's.
Because you're also at the mercy of the different clubs. What's if one city has a little more third graders? We've played a team where I'm like, you guys have 14 third graders on not 14.
12,
2/3 of your team is third graders and maybe second graders. You maybe have a first grader. Our team is probably on the younger side of all the other teams we've played. Yeah, I get maybe some of these rules protect the small town team of Little League. It protects some of that.
But if you only have 9 spots to fill versus 14, maybe you could fill first and second graders.
Oh, that was my point. The rules have already been altered at this age with the base running, no stealing, all that. So that ship has already sailed. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you lower the roster size more? He does more reps warming up in the actual game. You know what I'm saying?
And also, I just have to say this because we've talked about how soccer parents are crazy. Parents in general are crazy. Baseball parents are on a whole other level. Those parents think that their kid is going to the MLB next year.
Oh yeah.
And it's horrendous. It's honestly
it's very strange.
I'm so grateful that I don't have to be the coach's wife in baseball because I could just sit in the outfield and just let my kid do whatever. Because some of those parents are crazy.
Yeah.
These parents are out there fighting. They're 7 years old.
Yeah, there's no umpires. These
are the coaches.
Yeah. Well, and coaches too. Coach, I've said this for a long, long, long time. You coach youth sports under 13, you are facilitating a game for kids in an organized manner, so it's beyond recess, okay, with an emphasis on your team.
Yeah.
Okay? The other coach is facilitating this game for both teams with an emphasis on his kids.
Yeah.
You're not coaching professional sports here where you are trying to get every advantage for your team to win the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and too many of these coaches, it's like, what are you doing right now? And once you bend the rules for your team, now everyone gets super competitive.
Yeah.
And now it's on. And now your coach is going to push the rules. And now this has nothing to do with the kids.
And that's the problem. That's the problem that I don't think these parents understand about baseball is it's a very subjective sport. Like, it's a team sport, but it's also a very subjective sport. That umpire that stands behind the base, it's his call. What he thinks is a strike might not be what you think is a strike. And so, like, these parents get so riled up about that. I've seen it in the older grades too. Like,
I've said this again. Okay, baseball's like this. Baseball, because this is your kids' one at bat for the last 3 hours.
Yeah, so you're a little more on edge. You're a little more
you're
like,
already
I want
on
my kid
edge.
to get there.
And if he fails, everyone now remembers your kid as striking out. Okay, and guess when he
Which is baseball.
Guess when he gets another chance to bat.
Next game.
Maybe next game.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay. Or if he messes up an error in the field or whatever, like that might be his only ball. So when an umpire then doesn't give him a favorable, he just has maybe a strict box.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it called? Strike box or whatever. Strike zone. Okay. So it's like, I think that creates an edge too. But that's umpires. We don't have umpires in our league.
No.
So I'm saying
it's even worse though, because we have coaches in ours that are like, they're trying. I think seriously, sometimes I think these coaches are, because some games we call strikes, some games we don't. We don't know which games those are and what they aren't. But I think that sometimes these coaches are behind home plate and like the pitcher hasn't thrown a single strike. They get close and finally the coach is like, that was a strike. I'm going to give that one to you. And parents will freak out. Parents are like, that was a ball. Yes. That was nowhere near the strike zone. And it's like, read the room. Like the coach is back there just trying to throw this kid a bone.
This is turning into a youth sports thing.
I know.
But hold on.
Gosh.
When I'm a coach for soccer and say that coach and me agree on something, just to facilitate the game better for the kids and the parents start, what?
Yeah.
Or like, hey, it's 10-0. We're beating you 10-0.
Yeah.
I don't lose 10-0. Okay, no, the game's 10-0. Who cares what team? And like, hey, throw another player on. And a parent, hey, you have an extra player on. Announce to the whole field.
Oh, dear.
Duh. Like,
my gosh,
no one's trying to get away with anything right now. It's to facilitate a better game for the kids.
Yeah.
And the game's already, if you're caring about the win-loss, it's already blown. You know what I'm saying?
We had a game that this team blew us.
Are you talking baseball or soccer?
I'm talking about baseball. We had this team that blew us out of the water. Like, our team is great. I actually really enjoy our team. I really enjoy our coaches. I think our coach is fantastic. He treats Jackson well. The boys, there's like not a single kid that you're like, oh, watch out for that kid. Like, they're a great group of boys.
There's no bullies or anything.
There's nothing.
On the team.
They're so great. So we're like over here, like, this is great. We're loving this. I don't think our team's super competitive. Like, I don't think that they're like, the boys don't really care. Like,
yeah, our parents are a little competitive.
Our parents are, but the boys themselves, I think they're like, whatever. But there was one game that we were getting blown out of the water. Like, it was like just a blowout. Like, we just, unfortunately, it was just a bad game. And the coaches on the other team were throwing us a bone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we were catching up. I don't even think we were catching up. I think we were like,
we weren't catching up.
We were scoring runs, but the game ended. It had to have been like 7-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And our boys came out like yelling that we were winning, that we won.
Yeah.
And it's moments like that where I'm like, we're not teaching these kids how to properly win or properly lose because these coaches were throwing us a bone. They were being kind because we were getting destroyed. And as a parent, Jackson got in the car and he goes, Mom, I think we won that game. And I knocked him down a couple pegs. I'm like, dude, no. You guys did great. You did your best. That team was better.
I'm gonna go one deeper. This portion of Raising Heights is brought to you by HelloFresh.
I love HelloFresh because I do the cooking in our household mostly. You do the breakfast, but like lunches, dinners, well, even lunches. Okay, sorry. I do the dinners in this family.
Yeah.
Okay. But I love HelloFresh because it's a meal delivery service that gets delivered right to my door. So I don't have to worry about going grocery shopping and what I'm going to make for dinner. It's all right there for me.
Yeah. All the ingredients, everything in little baggies.
You could do it. It's
honestly,
that easy. They deliver everything to you, and you just have to read the directions and just do it.
I should just do it.
You should just do it. One of these times, you should just do it.
It makes it super simple. It looks simple. I watch you, and it looks super easy.
Okay.
There's no reason I can't do it.
Hold on, roll off. Hold on. HelloFresh makes it easier to fit home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and pecan-crusted trout, which our son absolutely loves. Anything fish shows up at our house, and our kids freak out. They love it. As well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. My favorite is the ready-made meals. So yes, it's so easy when it all gets delivered and you just have to put it together. But those ready-made meals that just show up and all you do is put it into the oven.
Oh, yeah.
Done. Those are my jam. They're great, but they don't compromise on taste or anything else. It's just good food delivered to the door.
Yeah, ready in 3 minutes so you can dig in and get outside.
Just read it.
That's awesome. Okay?
You're acting like you've never done it before.
I'm acting like
See, those ones, they only take 3 minutes, Zach. Those ones, you literally could just put them in the oven for 3 minutes, and then you guys can go back outside and do your thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, you were looking at your phone.
I'm reading the notes.
I also love that they have flexible delivery dates because we're not good at planning. We're not planners. We're not good at being
We're not great
on time to anything or planning anything. So flexible delivery dates are great because then we can pick and choose when it comes to our door.
Yeah, that part is great.
So if you guys want to get 10 free meals with a free item, for life?
Look at you. Now you're reading it.
Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make this season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/RaisingHeights10FM to get 10 free meals with a free item for life. That's HelloFresh.com/RaisingHeights10FM. One per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
I'm going to go one deeper. The situation was our kid. Our kid was the 13th batter.
Oh, yeah.
And and we were just 3 and out. He had not had a chance to bat.
The whole game.
Out on second. Okay, the game's
fourth
over.
Inning. He didn't touch the ball.
It's out on second. Game's over. And Jackson starts walking out. And the other coach is like, wait, has he had a chance to bat? Like, he's like, call him. There's a little question if the guy on second was out or not. He was out. But
he was out.
It was like, make him safe. Let this kid bat. He hasn't batted yet. Awesome. Everyone right there. The game is over. The game is over. This is about facility. But this is sometimes why coaches don't do that. Like, everyone has to read it right there. The game is over now. But to Jackson, the game's not over. So we're all going to still play the game.
Yeah.
Or not just Jackson, the player.
The boys, yeah.
Anyway, but then it's like
then I think after that we got like 3 runs, and all of a sudden everyone's like, "We won!" And we were like,
hold on here.
Like,
hold on
stop!
here.
This coach was being kind to let somebody else join in on the game, and it's stuff like that.
Again, it wasn't our coaches necessarily doing it. It was just the general.
It was just the atmosphere, the boys. It was the kids, and we so Jackson again got in the car and he goes, "Mom, I think we tied."
Yeah,
and I was like, "We didn't. Like, we did not. Like, they were better than us."
That's another thing with youth sports. Scores should go out the window. Because once you put scores of under 4th grade, scores should go out the window because it doesn't allow coaches to then facilitate the game in a manner
they're too competitive,
acceptable, like for kids. Yes, kids can keep score all day long. Parents, will just be entertained by your child. Don't be entertained by the score. You know what I'm saying? If you're not entertained just by your child playing, so at baseball, at bat, who cares how the team does necessarily? Again, score-wise, how does your child do? How does your child behave? All the things. That's right there. Because once the score comes into play, even your coach can't give the other team a bone. Our coach did that one time, and I was like, wait, what? And then it's like, yeah, guys, like,
read the room.
Okay, they might get a run now. But that's why we shouldn't be keeping score to begin with,
100%. Oh, man.
Anyway,
that was a really long peek and pit. I don't even know where we're at.
No, that was just my peek.
That was just a peek. Okay, can I talk about a pit that we had this week?
Yeah.
and why I have so many gray hairs.
Why?
Because our son got stitches.
Oh, yeah.
This is another thing on baseball. I left to go another game that Zach stayed home with the little kids. 5 minutes after I left, I get a call from he FaceTimed me, which never happens, but I was driving, so I was like, oh, I got to get there, and like then I'll call him back. And you FaceTimed me, and I just knew something was wrong.
Yep. Mom intuition.
Yeah, you called, and I like answered the FaceTime to just Josiah's forehead cut open and blood just racing down his face. So he got stitches again. Or no, I guess he hasn't had, Jackson's had stitches and then now he had them. But you called me and.
He did awesome though. Like he was great.
So he fell in our front
yard on the gravel.
And he just hit his head and
the Jeep, his Power Wheels Jeep, like.
Oh, we're going there. Okay, I wasn't going to bring it up, but yeah, we're going there.
The seatbelt. So it was a big discussion with Lila, though. Lila's not supposed to drive it unless his seatbelt is on.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Which she's very good about making sure his seatbelt is on.
Yeah, it's like, it's very motherly, okay? But so blah, 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 fast forward. Well, I'm like, well, how'd he fall out? And Lila, like, what happened? Did you drive when he wasn't ready? No, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like kind of annoyed now.
I'm like, hold on, though. You said... Because we're getting this story from a 5-year-old, and you asked her, did you drive when he wasn't ready? And she said, yeah. And so then you were kind of like, why? Like, as we started questioning her, like, I think the process of everything was he fell out of it. So like, obviously he wasn't ready, but really he was. He was wearing his seatbelt.
I go out there. The seatbelt is connected. Like the seatbelt is clicked together, but it's disconnected from the Jeep.
The vehicle.
Like the Jeep, how it connects to the Jeep broke or whatever. I feel like there might be some sort of lawsuit there.
I know.
Okay?
Terrible. And then once you see how the seatbelt's connected, all of a sudden in my head, I'm like, this is so unsafe.
Yeah,
like, this
you should just don't put the seatbelt there because it's false protection.
It's false protection.
We've had this Jeep for a long time and it's never done this. And
we've also had this Jeep for a long time. It's well loved. And so that's where I'm kind of like, well, maybe it's been used so much that the integrity of the seatbelt maybe just.
But still, it was very frustrating talking to Lila because it made no sense. I did not have in my mind that the seatbelt so it came detached from the Jeep.
The vehicle.
So it's dangling there, clicked together still, dangling on the side of the Jeep.
We're so lucky though, because they were taking off from the garage. So they weren't going fast. Yeah. They weren't like going anywhere crazy.
Yeah, they weren't out in the property.
Yeah.
But he fell in the hard gravel.
And he he does put a lot of effort. He does put a lot of strain on that seatbelt. Like that thing is holding him in.
He has a good time.
And so I could just imagine he was probably holding on to the Jeep. The seatbelt gave way and he just didn't have time to put his hands down. Yeah. It's also why we should probably be wearing helmets when we drive the Jeeps. But it's like, it's one of those things that it honestly was like a freak accident.
It was a freak accident.
We never expected that to happen.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful that he needed 2 stitches.
It was super cute though, because we go into the urgent care and they ask you like, hey, what happened? How did he hurt himself?
Yeah.
Is there anything else here? And Lila made it abundantly clear. Okay. She told every front desk person, nurse, doctor, the exact same story. Okay. Very precise. I buckled my brother in, and when I drove away, he was gone. Okay. And it detached from the Jeep. Okay.
That's my favorite image of the whole story, though, is Lila just taking off and just being like, where'd Josiah go? Yeah. Just looking to the right, just like, my brother's not there anymore.
Yeah. She made it very clear to that entire office exactly what happened, and there was no foul play at all. So, and they're like, hey, sister, got it. Okay.
Got it. No foul play happened here.
All right, Roger.
Just this car was a dingbat. And
a new nurse walks in. She starts the whole story over. Okay, we got the story.
Well, and then I pick her up from preschool on Monday morning, and her teacher was like, oh, we heard all about Josiah's accident. Yeah. Like, we got the whole story about how he has stitches and all these.
Yeah. He did great, though. They gave him stitches. They gave him something that relaxed him, which was kind of funny to watch.
Tell him about the fruit.
Well, then he gets his fruit snacks.
If you're watching, 10 out of 10 recommend you watch this segment.
He gets the fruit snacks, okay? And he's just like, and I'm kind of like, is he out? Because they just stitched him. He didn't cry at all. He just sat there talking to them, but he's starting to slur a little bit. But then he's like has his fruit snack and he's like trying to like scoop it out. And usually he gets super frustrated after 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Like he just does this for like 5 minutes.
Trying to get a fruit snack.
Trying to get this fruit snack out. I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened here?
What in the world?
But it wore off after like 5 minutes.
He's like Josiah's like Lila in that way. They both, when you get them in, like they don't really have a lot of trauma either. So I don't really know where this all came from. But when we go to doctors, dentists, anything, they are like, don't touch me, don't look at me, don't ask me any questions. And so when they tried to tried to numb it to give him stitches, apparently he freaked out.
Well, yeah, and he was very nervous, but he calmed down. They like had a moment where like they're like, "Can you take off your shirt to like so we can take your temperature?" It was an armpit temperature thing. Anyway, he's no. Like no, okay. No. And I started to take off the shirt and he was like, "No." And then another nurse came in and then the nurse that was in there goes, "Hey, can you go get the forehead temperature thing?" And she goes, "Why don't we just use the armpit one?" And the first nurse was like, "No, that's not going to work today. We're not going to do that today." And it was just like then the second nurse is like, "Got it. Okay, I will go get the forehead."
10-4. I'll be back. I mean, Zachary and I obviously are the first phone calls to each other, but then I always default to Becky Greenwald. I'm always like, what do we do? I sent her a picture.
I knew he had to go. It was just one of those things where it's like,
and we saw it and we're like, no matter what, just take him, because it was on the gravel. So I was dirty. Like, take him to go get it cleaned up. Like, even if they don't need stitches, like, take it. But what was the first question they asked you? They said, do you want glue or do you want stitches?
Yeah.
And Becky was like, don't do the glue. She, and I'm glad because we're like, what, day 5 now, day 4 after this incident. And it's so clean. Like it just looks, the stitches are so much.
Stitches is more traumatic and it takes more.
Yeah.
Okay. But the scarring, they can stitch it closer together and the scarring is,
and I could see that
potentially less later on.
And so I wasn't there during all of this. I was at a baseball game with Jackson watching my kid touch it once every 45 minutes. But, so Zach did this on his own, which I was so grateful for and so proud of you too. You did so great.
No, I prefer to do this on my own. Okay. Yeah. Like,
but when he was like, well, the glue's less traumatic. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not there and I shouldn't have a say in this, but like, no, go the more traumatic route.
No, you tell me what we're doing and we'll do whatever you tell.
I know, but in my mind, I was like, sorry, but like, it was on his face. So
Tori has a thing, though. Hold on. You always pick the more complicated, more expensive route.
That's what I'm saying. But I was like, it's on his face. I don't care how traumatic this is. I want the least amount of scarring possible.
But that's where you don't identify. You always do that for every other scenario. Obviously, I do not care if you do this for the health of our child. This is
But I just thought about it.
This is the one moment you do apply that protocol. Okay, but you use it up. You cry wolf on all these other things.
Get out of here!
When we come to this scenario,
get out of here. Well, I'm glad we went that route because I think that we just took the Band-Aid off this morning for the first time because I'm like, we should probably give it some air, and it looks fantastic.
They said 5 days. Once 5 days, you're in the clear. Yeah. So watch out for all these things before 5 days.
Poor Jackson, though. Bless his heart. What? He was more traumatized, I think, than Josiah. Because after the game, I told him, like, he had to get 2 stitches. And do you know what he said?
What?
Like, what I got in my legs. I think, because do you remember they're supposed to be dissolvable and the stitches in his legs didn't dissolve all the way. So I had to pull them out. And that was probably the worst thing with Jackson. Because it was like 2 weeks. It was more than 2 weeks after his surgery. Like everything was fully healed, but he still had 1 stitch just hanging out. So I just pulled it out and poor Jackson was like traumatized.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Yeah.
That hurts me just thinking about it. I had that and I would pull out the stitch and you can feel it. Ooh.
I've never had stitches. Have I? Yeah, I have had. Never mind. I have had stitches. I've had a lot of stitches, actually.
I did. I don't like needles. And one thing about being a dad, though, you just have to do it. Okay. And watching them stitch his head together, I was like, man.
I couldn't
and they're like, hey, Dad, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just like, it's like, whoa. Like
Jackson got staples in the back of his head last year. Was that last year?
That's wild, too.
That was
had
rough.
staples 2 years ago.
But I almost regret doing the staples on his after seeing Josiah's. His cut was bigger and deeper. I think his was worse. But he now, like, there's like a bald spot in the back of his head now where the hair doesn't grow anymore because of that scar that's in the back.
You'd be
of
like
his head.
Dad. Dad's got all sorts of bald spots.
All sorts of bald spots.
I got like multiple
over there.
bald spots on my head.
It's such a bummer too because you have such good hair. Like you wouldn't. I don't think you'd ever go bald, but you're bald in some spots.
Look at my dad has a lot of hair. Like
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you're ever going to lose your hair.
I don't think any of us are gonna.
Both your parents have good hair.
Yeah. So anyway, that was so that was
Wow.
a pit. The peak.
So that was kind of
We
all
had
the things.
Jackson's birthday, which was a peak. The kids are a perfect age right now for birthdays. They're so excited.
So fun.
Your process on doing birthdays, okay? My attitude might have not always been the best because Tori does a great job. But that night, she'll wrap the presents, put them on the island of the kitchen, put the happy birthday sign up. She's got the balloons and then the streamers on their door. And I think all of our kids have like caught on to that, you know, and are very look forward to it for each other though too.
Yeah.
They're very excited for each other, you know, and even Jackson said, we gave Jackson the option. Tori and me are a little like that, but like we said, hey, do you want to skip school? Like, or do you want to open your presents after school? I said no before school, which is what we do it in the morning. Because I was like, you're not gonna want to go to school once you open those presents.
Yeah.
But he said like, no, I'll because he still wanted to go to school so they can sing him happy birthday and all the things.
And bring the donuts.
And
in
I
class,
didn't realize
all the
how
things.
powerful that was, even though he got really cool gifts.
I remember growing up. That was the best part of like my birthday. I always loved going to school on my birthday.
Yeah.
So I didn't
So
really blame him there.
That's a good point.
But he had originally said, no, I'm going to open my presents after school.
Yeah.
But then he started thinking about it. And he goes, Mom, are you still going to decorate the island?
Yeah.
Are my presents still going to be there when I wake up? And I was like, of course, dude. Like, I'll.
He was
still
great
do
though. He
whatever.
liked the whole process of the birthday. Like that was like, and he was fine with opening them, still going to school and then coming home and playing.
And yeah, he got this RC card that we still haven't been able to play with. Like he's still
it's raining
like,
here so hard.
Yeah, because it's been kind of crummy weather. But
I just don't want him to ruin it.
I know
before-
we'll get there. We'll get there.
So that was a peak.
That was
and then
a
your
peak.
birthday, my birthday.
Your birthday
Did we
was
talk about
chill.
your birthday?
We did. My
But
birthday happened
did we talk
last
about it
weekend.
before the podcast though?
Yeah, I think so. We talked about
Or like on the podcast, was your birthday before?
it
Or
had
after?
happened last time. Like it had already happened the last episode. We talked about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So. And Mother's Day. Do you want to show
Mother's Day.
everyone what you got for Mother's Day?
You guys. Oh, thanks, babe. Okay, so I have a Pandora bracelet collection that I've started. I feel like it's kind of an old thing, but I love it. I love the charms and all the things. But I had saw that you could take your kids in and they can write something on a charm and they'll engrave it and make it into like a charm for your bracelet. And so Zachary got 3 charms engraved for me by Lila, Jackson, and him. And they're so cute. Jackson says, I love you. Lila says, you the best. And then Zachary wrote me a whole situation on his, but I couldn't read it because it's really small. So they give you this little charm that you can
And my
magnify
handwriting's
it.
not great.
And your handwriting's not brilliant. But we finally figured out what it says. What did it say? It says,
Well, I wrote a note.
you are amazing, deserve the best, beautiful and kind. That's what it says.
Let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, so he got me this really special Mother's Day gift. I really wanted it. I fully did not think he did it because I thought you had to drive to, there's a mall that's like 45 minutes away. I thought that was the only mall that did
Like
it.
an
in this
hour
area.
away on a weekday.
Yeah. And so I was like, there's no way. I know he didn't leave the house that long to be able to.
Well, I get all the kids together. I'm like, let's go, guys. And of course, it's like, of course, we're getting something for Mother's Day. But
Yeah, I knew. There's like a Hallmark store that's in Vancouver that I love. That I feel like that's where Zach always goes. So I totally assumed that's where they went. I was like, okay, he left that idea in the past. They went there. But you got me the charms, and I'm obsessed with them. I'm so in love with them. Thank you. It was
so
really
this
special.
Pandora store opened like a month ago in Vancouver.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I don't ever go to that mall. That mall's scary.
Yeah.
It's a scary mall.
It was good. The kids loved it. Love watching the little engraving. Oh,
So
FYI
special.
to everyone else out there, if your wife or if you like charms and you want your husband to do something for you or boyfriend or girlfriend, Pandora does that.
This is not sponsored.
It's not sponsored.
I'm just like, I'm so in love. I would keep this bracelet forever. Like, just looking at how the kids sign their names, I'm like, just that alone, I will keep that forever. It was cute.
We didn't do Josiah because I wasn't sure what, like, I'm like, okay, well, charms aren't like super cheap.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's he gonna write? But like, I don't know. Maybe I'll go back maybe and have him.
Well, I said too, like, wait till next year. Wait till he can like write his name.
Yeah,
because
that was what was cute. Lila can write. Yeah. Lila, like, I wrote out on my notes on the phone just so she has all the letters.
Yeah.
Or just to make sure.
She's like a little writer now.
Yeah, and it was cute because she couldn't write how she writes at school. On this iPad, you had to like hold up your wrist. Your wrist, no part of your hand can touch the iPad, just the pen. You can't rest your hand there anyway. So but just like, I'm like, you can't write like you write at school. And she's just like, what? Yeah. Like, she's already learning how to write.
Yeah.
And she does a great job. But now she's like, what do you mean? Yeah. Like, that's how I write.
Yeah.
But she did it. But she was very locked in. She actually made the lady change charms too. It was a little ridiculous.
She's very particular.
She was all about that shopping for charms. So.
Well, I really appreciated it. It was very thoughtful.
You had a good Mother's Day.
And I had a great Mother's Day. And I've started sourdough.
Yeah.
And so I had some fresh sourdough loaves the morning of Mother's Day, shared them with some of my girlfriends. And
that was nice of you.
None
of them commented on your new bracelet though.
They didn't. It's okay. I didn't expect them to. But my sourdough journey has been so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been good. That's been good stuff. I love the homemade bread.
Yeah.
So.
I need to make more. It's a process though. It's a 2-day process. So, okay. I have to laugh because what do we even call Matt? What is Matt?
He's our podcast manager.
He's our all things Matt. Yeah. So he gave us some current events to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at them just laughing.
Well, we've already destroyed his template.
I know. We have only gotten to B on his template.
Sorry, Matt. We'll do it next week.
Okay, current events I have to just share because this show literally has a chokehold on me and I can't wait for it. But is anybody else watching The Summer I Turned Pretty?
Oh, so many viewers just were like,
because I know most of you out there are ladies. I apologize to the men listening right now, but ladies, have we watched The Summer I Turned Pretty? So I just finished the book yesterday. I told Zach last night, I'm like, I have 30 minutes left on this book. So I finished We'll Always Have Summer. So there's 3 books in the series. So the first 2 books have already been made into TV series, and the third one comes out next month, or maybe in July. It might be a while. Anyway, I just finished the 3rd book and I am so disappointed by the 3rd book. And I'm so obsessed with the show.
Is that why you went to bed last night? So grumpy?
Yeah, probably. I was like, well, that was dumb. I just hated how it ended. I hated like the first 2 books. Her writing. So all 3 books are super easy read. They're short, like super short books. And I don't love the writing. Like, it's very hard for me because they jump back and forth between like, oh, she's 13. Oh, now she's 19. Oh, now she's 10. Like, it jumps back and forth a lot. Anyway, I just had to bring that up because you wrote current events and I'm like, I don't want to talk about any of these current events, but my current event is The Summer I Turned Pretty.
His current events are like world stuff, you know?
World stuff, and Tori doesn't talk about world stuff.
I love it. But
so anyway, The Summer I Turned Pretty, the 3rd season comes out soon and I can't wait. I can't wait.
That's probably a more relevant current event.
But I'm curious, ladies out there, are we Team Conrad or are we Team Jeremiah? Which one?
Oh, boy.
I'm hardcore Team Conrad, 100%. And that's why I think I was so disappointed by the books. So anyway, who are you? Team Conrad? Team Jeremiah?
I don't know anything about any of that. So that's a good current event. All right. So we're going to start having more of a structure to our episodes.
We're going to try.
Okay, we're going to try.
We're a little chaotic over
Today
here.
was terrible. We had way too long with Peak and Pit. But then we're also going to do member highlights.
Yes.
So we got a couple new members on the website.
Shout out to the members.
Yeah.
Which also the first one listed as Matt. And I'm like, I think I know what Matt that is.
Yeah. We're not doing last names, it's privacy, but if you're
give them a shout out. They give those five. There's
Chelsea,
6 there.
Chrissy, Ashley, Tuggy.
That's
an interesting
cool name.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah.
And Mandy. Man, we're the boys.
I don't think there's many boys here. I'm going to be honest.
Tammy Cox 990 says, "Happy birthday, Tori."
Thank you.
Question. There is a podcaster who keeps announcing that Sister Wives is the longest running reality show in TLC history.
What?
I say no way. LPB Dub holds that title, right? I would agree with you, Tammy.
No way.
Little People
Sister
Big
Wives?
World.
No way.
No, not Sister Wives. No.
No.
Tell us
Whoever podcaster this is, send him to our podcast.
Quote, yeah, you should
I'm pretty sure Zach
message us this podcaster because I'm pretty sure we're in the Guinness World.
You are.
Wait, no, that's YouTube. We're in the Guinness World Record books. The Little People Big World's in the Guinness World Record books for the longest running. Well,
you were the longest running reality show with the original characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of different.
You were in the running with Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That was the longest.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of adjectives and adjectives in some of these, like the longest running family reality show.
Sister Wives came way after you guys.
Yeah, I don't believe that. That doesn't make any sense. But but that's the thing. Maybe this podcaster is missing an adjective.
An adjective, yeah.
The longest running blank reality show in TLC history. So
you're definitely the longest running short TLC short people show.
I don't know. The Seven Little Johnsons. They're coming.
Are they still filming?
I think so. They've got to be close. So, but it's all good. It's all one big TLC family.
We're not competitive in this family at all.
I know.
It's fine. We don't care.
We left the game. So
we did leave the game.
It's for others to play now.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome.
That's fun though. So if you don't know, if you go to raisingheights.com, you can become a member now. So it's a great way to support us to be able to keep doing this and keep doing what we love. Just today, what day is it today? The 13th. So by the time, I don't know when this episode comes out, but just dropped some new merch today in the shop, some fun spring things. And also when you sign up to be a member, we officially have Peak and Pit gear. And so when you sign up to be a member, you get access to the Peak and Pit merchandise.
That's awesome. Love that.
So yeah, and I think you also get a 15% discount on all
Tori and Matt do all this work, okay, for this podcast.
Matt does most of it, okay?
But I literally just learned this.
Yeah, you're like, really?
That's awesome. Is that what we're doing now?
That's what we're doing now.
That's so cool.
So yeah, you get 15% off when you become a member. I think there's
How do I get some of this?
I think there's like free memberships too. That's where I get. I don't know. But you can, it's a great way to support Zach and I to be able to keep doing this and to keep doing.
We might do another Q&A pretty soon.
We should,
that was kind of fun.
So much
if you're a member, you can give us comments apparently here. And then
Tammy figured it out.
Yeah, so and then maybe we'll address those comments.
Well, okay, hold on though. Hold on. Let me go right now because on our website you can leave messages. So I can read some messages right now. Can I do that?
Okay, yeah.
So Linda says, "Love the podcast. You guys do a great job. Thanks for sharing your lives." Thank you,
Are there
Linda.
any questions though?
Not so much here, but you can leave questions on this.
Are you just reading?
I'm just like, these are
patting
cute
your
and cozy.
back?
Yeah. Tamra says, "Love your podcast. Real and down to earth. God and family are important to you." Yes, they are. A wholesome podcast with similar opinions and values. Thanks. So, really fun. Members can leave messages for us.
Yeah, go to the website.
We can send you guys messages.
Yeah, leave some questions, or if you have other discussions, like this one's great. I love this. A little comment. Little question.
Probably why Matt put it on there. He's good like that.
Yeah, a little competitiveness. So.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for being here, checking us out. Make sure you like and follow, subscribe, all the things. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, make sure you follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and now on raisingheights.com. Go check it out.
Yeah. Do your best.
Forget the rest.